Nothing, because he's not a doctor. You're taking away my right to give the best care I can to my patients, and all you have to say about it is the insurance insists on it. It's crap, Sheila. It's crap, and I shouldn't have to work this way. No surgeon should have to. You and I don't disagree, Helen, but the point is it doesn't matter whether I agree with you or not. It doesn't matter if you like the policy. We have to allow him into the room. If we don't and something goes wrong, the hospital is open to being sued for negligence, and so are you. We have this argument every single time. It doesn't change. You could make the hospital policy not allow them in surgery at all. We could, yes. And then we'd go bankrupt because insurers wouldn't refer their patients to us, and the U.S. government wouldn't allow us to handle Medicaid cases, as you know. Chow stared angrily at Reeves, and then finally looked over to me. Your name again? She said. Tony Valdez. Where's your instrument? I was told there was one in the operating room already. I looked over to the nurse by Chow, who nodded. When you're in the room, I want you well out of the way. I always am. I don't want to hear a peep out of you, no talking to the team unless you're directly spoken to. Fine. If you distract any of us, I'm going to have you hauled up in front of a review board so fast you won't know what hit you. I understand. If you do anything I deem disruptive, I'm going to have you thrown out of the room. Helen, Reeves began. I held up a hand and looked at Reeves. It's all right. I turned back to Chow. Doctor, I get it. You don't want me here, and you don't want me getting in your way, and I agree. I shouldn't be getting in your way, or in the way of your team. You have my word that I'm going to stay out of your hair. Like I said, I've been present at hundreds of operations. I've gotten very good at making like a hole in the air. It's not my job to get in your way. You've said it yourself. You've never needed one of us to step in which case you won't even know I'm here. You can get in, do your job, and get out without acknowledging I'm even in the room. I don't mind. She glowered at me some more. What do you do while we work? Sometimes I read a book off my cell phone. I don't allow cell phones in my operating rooms. They're a distraction and they can introduce pathogens. Then I'll stand around quietly. Chow was now fully prepped for the operating room. She looked over again at Reeves, gave me the barest of nods, and then turned and went away to get gowned and gloved, starting what was obviously her plan to ignore me through the rest of the day. Reeves looked over to me. Sorry about that. I smiled. I'm used to it. I suppose you might be. I don't imagine you're very popular with surgeons. No, I'm not. Is it because you remind them of their failures? It's because I remind them they're not God, I said, and that if there is one, I'm closer to him than they are. In hour 7, the operation went to hell. It wasn't Chow's fault as far as I could see. The patient was 78 years old and, from what I read from the case file I was given, was not a great candidate for surgery anyway. Old, frail, and had more than one operation before. In my opinion, this operation wasn't going to make him any better. All it was going to do was make sure the time he had left was going to be more awful. He was going to be recovering from massively invasive surgery rather than doing anything else he'd want to do with his life, which is probably anything else. But Chow was right. I'm not a surgeon, or a doctor, or a nurse. I could be entirely wrong about the value of this particular operation. I wasn't involved with or didn't pretend to understand the intricacies of what they did with their hands inside the open cavity of this man's chest. All I had was my experience observing hundreds of operations, and at least a couple dozen just like Chow was now attempting. When the patient was wheeled into the room and my observation of him dovetailed into what I knew from the case file, my gut told me that the good doctor's streak of not needing someone like me in the room was going to end. To be fair to her, for 6 hours she was quite competently proving me wrong. But hour 7 was about the patient's body showing Chow there was a limit to what competence could do confronted with a body that was actively trying to self-destruct. The patient began to react to the anesthetic. Then he began to seize. Then it became clear that the patient, as sometimes happened with open-heart surgery, was having a stroke. All of this happened within 5 minutes. Chow was a good surgeon as far as my layman's eye could see. Good in the chest, good with her hands, and good, if short, with her team. But after a few minutes of this, it stopped being about her or her obvious talents. It was about whether anyone, anywhere, could save this patient from the death.
Para seguir escuchando este audiolibro gratuitamente, haz clic en el enlace de la descripción y podrás escucharlo completo sin coste gracias a la prueba de 30 días de Audible.